Hello viewers, it's Super GT here once again. Welcome back to another Gran Turismo Sport video. So you can see it there, Group 1 class. It's the first time that I've actually touched this class in the game, and somehow I've managed to fluke a second on the grid. Now, I think I can pull off a good lap, but it's really hard to be consistent in these cars. They're so twitchy on turning. Obviously they've got a lot of downforce, they've got a lot of speed, a lot of grip. So you have to be so delicate on the steering, especially on these fast corners like Kyoto has here. A couple of these really fast flowing corners can be very difficult. So yeah, fluked a second on the grid. Let's see if I can translate that into a win up behind the Spaniard into this fast left. So this is the kind of corner I'm talking about. So thrown in a little bit too early there, and I'm going to pay for it on the exit as I then have to back out slightly. My fellow Brit is going to go through, take second place into the chicane. He brakes a little bit too late. He's going to go across the grass. He's turned into a lawnmower temporarily, presumably getting a penalty in the process. So down to third, but with a chance of second once again should he have that penalty. We have 4 laps though to fight this one. The Spaniard already making a dash for it. He doesn't really want to get involved in this British battle behind him, so he's already a good couple of seconds ahead. Into the final corner, the lap significantly shorter when you're in these really fast cars, so about a minute and a half or just under in a Group 1 car, whereas it would normally take about 2 minutes in a Group 3, Group 4 car, or at least 15-20 seconds more than we're taking here. It's the first corner, he goes in way too early, massive oversteer, slide through that corner, back up into second position where I started. So after all that battling, I just simply find myself a lot further away from the leader than I was, so down to about 2.2 seconds. So through the long left, can I do it a little bit better this time? Yes I can. So that was nicely taken, but at the end of the race you can see here with a bit of a penalty, I did catch up slightly, not much though. Now I managed to get that penalty down to 0.001. It's a shame it couldn't quite go down all the way. I'm just going to back off slightly before we go across the line. And there it is. Crossing the line in second. Second seems to be my new favourite position. I was always finishing in 6th place, but I think I might be the new king of second instead. First of the losers, eh? So the rematch. And we're going to go again. It's the same Spaniard up ahead as we had in the first race. And also the same Brit behind. So top 3 the same as it was, but let's see if I can get this one done a little bit better. So making that mistake around the long left early doors on the first race, that let the Brit in, and then we started battling, it descended into chaos, we lost a lot of time. So that obviously is a lesson learned. Don't get into a battle early, you just need to make sure you nail that first lap so that you're on the front foot, not the back foot. So down the hill then, over the crest, into the braking zone for the chicane. Got to carry plenty of speed for here, but obviously not that much speed. So it's me that's turned into the lawnmower this time around, and I'm going to be slapped with a nice 4-second penalty. So once again, obviously we just have to kind of continue and just hope that can go down throughout the course of the race. It's already gone down to 3.4. We still have just over 3 laps remaining to try to reel that in, and of course reel the Spaniard in, who is in the lead. Into the final corner. Let's monitor that gap. It is 1.2 seconds as we hit the apex of the final corner. So about 1.2 seconds. Let's see what lap time he does as he crosses the line. 1:21.8 and I go 22.9. So lost a second on that lap. And into the first corner. So you're taking that quite nicely. Maybe turned in a little bit too early. Having to back off the throttle on the way out. So constantly monitoring what I'm doing, where am I losing, how can I go faster. And I must say it really isn't easy in these cars because they're so fast. Obviously they're very grippy, but they're just so fast and twitchy that it is really hard to pinpoint exactly where you have to turn in. And if you do get it wrong by a split second, it's kind of multiplied in this class given how fast you're going. But you know, if you just miss your braking point by half a second is bigger in this than in a really slow car, because of just how quickly you're going. So into the hairpin for the second time. Let's see how much that penalty goes down. Down to 2.8. It's going down by about 0.6 of a second each time through there. It's not going to be enough there at that rate. I have to do more than that. The Spaniard takes way too much of the grass on the inside there. So this is my chance. I still have to get rid of 2.8 seconds worth of penalty, or 2.6 now, as we round up the final corner, and stay ahead. That's going to be quite an ask. You always have to consider as well that the Spaniard was in the lead based on his pure speed, so he is technically faster than me, and already he's only lasted 2 corners. The Spaniard is back into the lead. That is the mistake. That is the mistake that I keep making with the long corners, just turning in way too early, downshifting halfway through, and it just messes the car up completely. So I'm clearly not learning my lesson. As we go in here, can we take this one okay? Yes, we can. But you can see the Spaniard taking it. Actually, I take way too much speed through there and onto the grass. I'm going to lose a couple of attempts on the exit down into the chicane. How is this one going to go? Taking that quite nicely onto the tail of the Spaniard once again. Let's tuck into that slipstream to maximise our profits. Into the hairpin. Look for the cones. There they are. Down into second gear. Got to be very, very patient through here. And then smashing that gas down. The car is okay on the throttle actually coming out of the corners. So I'm using zero traction control here. Not really needed at all. The car can just cope with it quite easily on its own. So around the final corner to begin the last lap of 4. Now the Spaniard's actually got a decent couple of corners there. His last sector was pretty good, so I've dropped half a second, and now we have a fasty Italian. There was the downshift halfway through the corner, unsettling the car, slowing me down slightly. That is going to move me away from first place and now into the grasp of the Italian behind. So I am surrounded by southern Europeans, and hopefully I can go forwards rather than backwards, but at the moment my form isn't looking good. I'm going to go backwards at this rate. So down the hill, over the crest, into a very important braking zone for this chicane where you can really gain a lot of time. Really nail that one. I think I've got it dead right that time around. I should just ease the pressure as we come into the hairpin, which is a good overtaking opportunity. It's going to be too far back for the Italian. So instead I am just going to back off slightly here, concede that I'm not going to win the race, and just try to back off to get that penalty down. It's down to 1 second, so I still have a couple of corners left to try to get it down even further. Can we get it done? The Italian's right on me now. He's coming to the final corner, and he's going to actually go up the inside for the move. And you know, to be fair, it was actually a very good move. Penalty down to 0.4. I'm going to get a good run, move to the right hand side. He's just going to swerve across like a nonce. That was a really bad move, and then across the line he's going to brake check me, probably trying to get rid of a penalty, but way too late. And then in the end, actually, I got past him, so he had more of a penalty than I did. So I guess for that little cheeky little swipe across on the final straight, karma struck, and I managed to reclaim my second place. But then we're going to move to something quite a lot slower around Maggiore. So a couple of new layouts were added during the recent update 1.11, and this is one of them. I actually really like this track. 2 fairly long straights, and then a couple of really cool corners on either end. So guess what, I've qualified in second once again, this time behind a Frenchman. Let's see how this race goes. The car is of course the Toyota GT86. So the first corner here, very sharp hairpin. Let's see how it goes through here. A bit of contact from behind, I think. Well, he's very close if it wasn't. And now the Frenchman's got a poor exit there. Let's see if we can get a run on him. Not quite at this moment. So you may recognise this portion of the circuit here. Normally we go to the right here, where the arrows are, but then we're going to swing left and up the hill instead. This is a really cool corner. Going uphill, the apex is just on the crest of the hill. The Frenchman takes it very wide, comes back on. I'll just make contact with him. He's just going to resume ahead, get a bit of a bump behind from the Polishman, and then into the final corner. Oh man, I just turned across on a German, and he's just going to push me into the wall on the exit. And well, actually the German comes off worse from that. And I can honestly say that I just did not see that German on the inside, and before I knew he was there, it was too late. And well, after all that, I'm going to come out in 5th position. So we've lost actually quite a lot of time there. Although the pack is still very close ahead of us. The Frenchman in the lead has got a bit of breathing space over second. And let's see if we can go about getting past a couple of these guys. So this Frenchman taking a poor line on the exit of the first hairpin. So reclaiming fourth quite quickly. Second place isn't too far ahead. First place now nearly 3 seconds ahead. Might be tricky to reclaim that. We have a 6-lap race here. Roughly a minute per lap, so we're looking at about 6 minutes. Almost into the back of the Polish guy here. Or it might be a woman, I don't know. Polish man or woman. And then into the final corner. Taking the apex nicely. A bit of oversteer. Couldn't quite manage that as well as I would have liked. So, not quite enough to go alongside. So I'm going to tuck back in to get that slipstream. Crossing the line to begin the third lap of 6. So, going to look for that move into the first corner. Just look for that line. There it is. And then just braking just after. And I'm going to brake just later than the pole. Up the inside. There we go. Up into third position. It was a good move. A good clean move. As clean as a whistle. Unless it's a dirty whistle, I suppose, then it wouldn't be as clean as a whistle. I don't even understand that saying, to be honest, because what's to stop a whistle being really dirty? I don't know. So up into the new section, the new corner. This is a really cool corner, one of my new favourite corners. And Maggiore does have quite a lot of cool corners, if we're honest. Not on this version of the circuit, but of course we do have the incredibly banked corner. And into the final corner. Third place still, and just hunting down the Irishman. 1 lap later we can see the situation has developed. I am now significantly closer. He's going to actually move to the left hand side, the defensive line. I'm hoping he's going to move back to the right. He's moving, he's inching closer to the left hand side. He's not going to give it up at all. He's gone fully defensive, so I'm going to move back out to the racing line, going for that cut back. I turned it a little bit too early there, if anything, and couldn't quite make the move work on the exit. So that's a shame, really, because I was harbouring ambitions of getting past this guy and then going after the Frenchman. But after that defensive work into the first corner, we're going to lose valuable time, and that gap is going to open up once again. And it is lap 5 now of 6, so we're getting very close to the end. Now he goes very wide there. It gives me the big opportunity and big invitation to go up the inside and retake second position. So I'm back to where I started at least, so I haven't dropped positions overall. Now at the end of the race, wasn't enough to catch up. I did set the fastest lap on the final lap there, dipping into the 57-second mark. So, yet again, another second. And the total positions we have so far, second equals 6th. So there's your proof that it is a Super GT video. But we're going to go for one more race. Let's see if I can finally translate one of these second position starts into a race win. So crossing the line, I've changed the car colour to orange with some vague hope that this might somehow make me quicker or give me improved luck or make other people crash more often. Something, I don't know, I need some sort of help. So let's see if I can go about doing that here. So my first lap in qualifying was 58.2. I did just do a 57.8 in the last race, but it took my 58.2. This guy ahead has actually done a 57.8 in qualifying, so it looks like we're going to be fairly evenly matched on pace, and we do have a Spaniard behind. Let's see if we can pull away from him. We're actually already 1.5 seconds ahead, with the Greek guy here just under a second ahead. So that's the second to last corner. That's the final corner. Very difficult actually on this car to get on the throttle as early as you might like. It does actually slide about quite a lot. I'm using 0 traction control, and you may be pleased to know less counter steer assist. I found with counter steer assist though, it didn't necessarily make me quicker, it just made it easier to not crash. That's what I felt. I felt like it wasn't really making me faster at all. It was just because I'm using the controller and the chase cam, it can be susceptible to sudden fishtailing, sudden violent fishtailing, where the car is just going left, right, left, right, left, right, and it's impossible to control. I just felt as though that counter steer assist was helping with that, and of course I'm fairly new to the PlayStation 4 controller, so getting used to that and the Gran Turismo once again after many years of not playing it is I'm finally getting there. So now I'm at the stage now where I have actually turned it off. I feel a bit more comfortable on the controller with the game itself and the way it works. So the only assist here at the moment is ABS on weak. Into the first corner, the Greek actually feels it necessary to go defensive. So that's going to give me a better line out. You can see there, he went in narrow. It's going to give him a poor run on the exit. He thought about going defensive there. Didn't quite want to go the full way across, as he saw that I just had a nose alongside. So that's really respectful driving. Bit of contact there, but nothing too sinister. That's just honest racing there. Into the uphill left. Gone a little bit deep and late. And yes, I'd imagine he was going to get that cut back done, and he does. So clinical driving. Now I'm going to get to the left hand side here into the final corner. He's going to go narrow in and he's going to go slow out. So that gives me the run on the exit. So the first half of this race, I've slowly wrestled that first position away from the Greek guy. And you can see that it was I played it very patient. First lap just kept with him. Second lap just reeled him in that a little bit more. Third lap he kind of went defensive when perhaps he didn't need to, and that gave me the initiative to go ahead. And now I can hopefully build on that and try to pull away. Let's see if we can go about getting a nice final sector here at Maggiore. This section here is very hard actually to get right. It may look easy. This uphill corner here, I mean the cones telling you where to brake aren't really in the right place at all, so you really do have to judge it for yourself. Taking it quite well there. No drama to report of on the exit. Using the curb on the inside and keeping to the left hand side as much as possible before we turn into the final corner. So we're taking that pretty much perfectly. So 58.2 so far in the race. You actually see the Greek guy still very close, crossing the line to do a 58.1, so improving our fastest lap with a purple sector. We're going to move then to the end of lap 5 just to see exactly what happens at the end of this race. It's poised here, because we're both very evenly matched. He's still right on my tail. You can see him there. In fact, he's right in the bottom of the screen. Now this time, unlike the race with the German just a moment ago, I recognised he was on the inside. So I gave him a little bit of space. Always got to leave it to space. Now I'm going to use a bit of a cheeky tactic here, just backing off the throttle slightly to make him go to the right hand side. I want the defensive inside line. And there he goes into the first corner. Now I felt as though I held quite a straight, even line there, so I think actually there wasn't any contact. I didn't see the SR logo, so as a result of the narrow line, once again getting a poor exit. I'm over a bit earlier than he was to cover the inside line, so he's right on my toe. You can see him there, he's right on the screen. So I'm going to once again go really narrow, make him think twice about that move. You don't really want to go for that move and feel really narrow. Into the second to last corner. 2 corners remaining on this race. Can the Greek man get past and take a really narrow line once again? Ultra defensive from Super GT. And I think I've just about done the job here. So I built on a good start, but then at the end the Greek guy kind of regathered his thoughts and focus, managed to gather some speed and stage a fight back, but just about managed to really just about keep him behind with some shady defensive work. But it just about did the trick, and I think it was borderline fair. I think it was just about fair enough, and I don't think he really had too many complaints. It was a good race in the end. I think that's all that matters really. If I was the one in second, I would have been happy to finish second, because it was just a good race overall. But there we go guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video as always. Plenty of GT Sport content on the channel. Really loving this game, you know, it's really good fun. And for anyone who's on the edge about buying it, I definitely recommend it. The hard part, of course, is if you don't have the console, then is it worth buying a console for one game? That's maybe up to you, but I bought it just for this game. But that's it guys, thank you very much for watching as always. I shall see you next time. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Listen.